All right, I'm just about to get started. Heading out to the gallery where I'm going to go to Bulger Gallery's grand reopening. Bulger Gallery is one of the top photographic galleries anywhere in the world, and it's right here in downtown Toronto, so it's always exciting when he mounts a new show. This time, he's got a brand new location a little further west across town. I can't wait to see the new place. But the first show that he's mounting is Larry Towell's exhibit documenting the renovation of Union Station here in Toronto. Union Station's sort of like Toronto's Grand Central Station, only a much less grand scale, but it's still a beautiful building. It's steeped in tradition, it's a gorgeous piece of architecture, and they've pretty much completely renovated it from the ground up. But it's going to be even more exciting to see the way Larry Towell, Canada's first member of Magnum Photos, saw the entire event. And if we're lucky, we're going to get a chance to talk to Larry real quick. So I got to head out there, but before I go, got to feed the pup, Penny. Penny, you want to get some food? You want some food, honey? You want to be on my blog? Ah! You raw. All right, well, she's mowing down. Let's talk about the gallery. I actually went to school with Stephen Bulger way back in another life, 100,000 years ago. I'm gonna pack up all my gear, head out the door, and talk to you guys on the other side. Going to the gallery, walking to the gallery to see the show. Gallery. No, par for the course. TTC's taking forever. How many square feet is the gallery now?
Well, it's on 2 floors. In total, it's about 11,000 square feet. And so it's divided off into basically 3 main sections. Like this space here is the main gallery, and it's about 60 feet deep, but these are moving walls. So what we're able to do is reconfigure the space whenever we want. So we could have 2 or 3 smaller exhibitions in the space, or like what we did in this case, divide one person's work into the 2 distinct bodies of work as they were produced.
Oh, no problem at all. You're doing me the favor. So.
Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Tell us a little bit about the Union Station project. How long have you been working on this?
Don't knock over my glass of wine. So I'm doing this interview for the second time because the person who's interviewing me didn't have the camera turned on.
It's true.
I will try and repeat myself as best as I can. What was the question again? The idea was to photograph the construction or the reconstruction of a historical building in Toronto. I got access, I took safety courses, I went underground with the workers. Then when the second phase began, I would have had to redo all of my courses again, and I would have been more restricted in my access. So I haven't continued it, but I may continue it later on. But for now, this is really the beginning of a long-term project on this historical building in Toronto.
Do you see it as a book at some point in the future, or?
I don't know.
Never know, right?
Yeah.
Do you start projects and think of them as this is going to be a book, or this is just going to be?
Usually I do. Usually I go somewhere, I do a take, spend a day or a week or month, 6 months, whatever, and then go home and edit the work into a layout.
Yeah.
And then I let the book dummy talk to me for a while, and I decide whether it's a long-term project or not.
If you're working on a book like that, and this is a little off topic, I'm sorry, but do you find that you're sequencing as you're shooting?
Yes.
Like, are you in your head thinking this is going to be perfect for bridging things together? So it's got to be helpful to know that you're going to be, or the direction of a project while you're working on it, right?
What I do is I work on book dummies simultaneously, and I find if I'm developing a kind of a thesis to a book, which includes chronology and sequence, that when I'm shooting, again, I'm feeding that early process.
Right.
So I tend to do the whole thing simultaneously. I find working on layouts, concepts, helps me shoot.
Yeah.
And also gives me a reason to go back.
Right, absolutely. It's tough, we're a street photography blog, so we tend to deal with single images.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's tough just to walk out the door and face the world anew again, knowing that you're going to be faced with nothing. But I could see any advantage you could take.
I'm a street photographer too, but street photography doesn't necessarily just mean walking the street. I think street photography is a way of capturing the world as the world goes by. And if you're in more confined spaces or you're working on more thematic things, that doesn't mean, well, you're using all the same ideas and principles that you do if you're shooting on the street. A lot of great street photographers are very thematic in their approach and certainly very specific to their style. Somebody like, you can say Alex Webb. Is Alex Webb a street photographer? Well, in my mind he is, even though he may be shooting just in Haiti, or he may be shooting just in Rochester, New York. He's still a street photographer. And that doesn't stop you, however, from stopping occasionally and shooting characters or portraits, which you do on the street anyway. So street photography is just sort of the universal language, I think, of documentary work. And it has a kind of a rhythm to it, and it's about trying to make sense of the construction, the deconstruction, the composition, the symmetry, the geometry, and the emotion of the moment. Street photography is just not very commercial, that's all.
The only people that look at street photography are other street photographers. It's very funny.
You can say that of documentary work in general.
Larry, thank you so much. I think it was better the second time.
My pleasure.
Well, that was fun. The new gallery space is amazing. Talking to Larry was fantastic. Quite a character. What an amazing photographer. If you're in Toronto, do yourself a favor. Stop by the Bulger Gallery and have a look at what's going on here. It's a world-class facility. Always amazing shows going on, and he's got a really amazing selection of photo books for sale too. A lot of them signed. Stop in here. It's definitely worth your time. I'm Carl from Street Shooter. What are you watching me for? Get out there and take some pictures already. Focus. At Bulger Gallery, checking out the Larry Towell show. Come on over here. Walking past other ex-photographers. Oh, here's where I was. This is where I needed to be all along.